Hi everyone, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf. I thought we'd mix it up a little bit today. Usually I do dedicated affordable makeup videos and then high-end videos. I thought we'd just sort of intermingle everything together. Some of this is luxury, some of this is mid-range, some of this is affordable. So, whole lot of newness sat in front of me right now. Some of it is brand new to me. Some of it is brand new on the market and some of it's just, you know, not brand new at all, but I've not tried it on my channel before, so let's get cracking. If you are new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I upload 2 to 3 videos here on YouTube every single week. I'm also on Instagram if you fancy checking me out over there, and I would really appreciate it if you haven't done so for any reason whatsoever. Come and join the Pampered Wolf pack. They are a super friendly bunch. There is no negativity in the comments section at all. I'm not quite sure how I've got away with it for such a long time. It will come, I'm sure, but my bunch are an amazing bunch. So come and join them, click on that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Okay, so let's try an affordable product right from the get-go. This is the NYX Ultimate Shadow and Liner Primer, and I've gone for the shade Light. So let's just pop some of this on the lid and get some shadow on. Oh, this is stinging. Oh, let's just see if it still stings when I spread it out a little bit. Yeah, I am not sure what is in this product, but it is, yeah, it's stinging my eyelids. That can't be a good sign. Ow. Okay, I'm gonna take this off and use something else. Just bear with me 1 second. Oh. Okay, so I really don't know what is in that product, whether it's an ingredient that's not agreeing with me or whether this happens with absolutely everybody. Do let me know. Ow, my eyelids have gone red. What has happened? I will look into the ingredients a little bit more on that product and update you in the faves and fails. But yeah, as you can see, that product did not like my eyelids, or rather my eyelids did not like that product. Right, let's go for something that I know my eyelids are going to get on with. This is from Beauté and it is their eye primer. And once again, I've gone for the shade 2, I think is this one. It's really creamy, it's really beautiful, and to top it off, it's not stinging my eyelids. So the palette I'm going to be using today is the new Goss palette. This isn't actually that new. It's been in my drawer and I've not actually had it out the packaging since I bought this on release day. So I'm really excited to get some on my eyelids. Now, if you've got the first palette that Wayne released, this is very, very similar. It's just a different tone. So this one is more warm toned, this one is more cool toned. So if you bought this one and thought, oh, I wish there was a cooler tone version, you may want to check this one out. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like the last palette release from Goss. To be fair, I didn't really like the colour story, so it wasn't going to be for me at all anyway, but I thought that a couple of the shadows were slightly difficult to blend. So I'm hoping that this new one is more similar to the first one that he released, which I adored. So I'm really not sure what to do with this palette because I've got a couple of other items that I want to use and I want everything to blend together. So I think I'm going to go in with this pinky toned shade, which is a lovely dusky rose. Very pretty. And just pop that in the crease. I don't usually go for pinks on the eyes, but this one is super pretty. So now that pink is laid down, I'm just going to deepen up the crease a little bit using this shade. And I'm going to go really just concentrating on that crease and nowhere else. Then I'm going to add a little bit of this absolutely beautiful grey taupe shade to the outer bit of my eye, just to deepen that off and add a tiny weeny bit of dimension. I'm hardly applying any of this. I just want it to be quite subtle. Beautiful. Then I'm going to take my finger and go into this shade and apply it all over the lid. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this sparkly shade, which just is calling me, and just add it to the center. Oh, that's so nice. I've got to say, when I saw this on the promo shots before it was released, I just knew this was going to be my favourite of all the palette releases so far. I don't think this can be topped. It's just beautiful and it's universal. You can use this at any age. If you're not comfortable using a sparkle, the reason I really love this palette is that there are 4 mattes in here. So many looks can be created. I've got to say, my bugbear with the Wayne palettes is the pans are so big, and I would prefer to have 12 shades with smaller pans rather than 6 shades of huge pans. Or even if they want to stick to the 6 pans, make them smaller and bring the price down. I just don't think I will ever use the amount of shadow that is in each of these palettes. Doesn't take away from the fact that I think it's a gorgeous palette and my favourite so far, but yeah, it's a little bit of a bugbear for me. Let's move on to foundation. Now I have a new foundation to try. You may have seen that I recently reviewed and did a full wear test on the Clé de Peau Radiant Fluid Foundation Matte. I have since picked up the Radiant Fluid Foundation Natural. So this is supposed to be a little bit more glowy. I have worn this in several videos recently and I adore it. I don't have the brush that they sent me in the first PR package. This was gifted to me, by the way. They were so nice to send me the newest version of this. My mum has it because she has the previous foundation, the matte one. So she's testing that out for everybody. So I'm just going to use my normal brush that I would use for any regular foundation, which you can use. You don't need to buy the expensive brush to go with the expensive luxury foundation. It's just not necessary. It's just they sent it me and I thought I'd give it a go and it was lovely. You hardly need any of this on your brush to begin with. This needs spreading quite thinly. It's got really good coverage, as you can see. Now I've gone for a slightly different shade in this one than in the other one because the other one, the matte version, was slightly too deep for my skin tone, and because it's such a beautiful foundation I want to get my wear out of it in winter as well as in summer. So this one is in the shade 010, which is a much better shade match for me. So if you are my shade twin and wanting to buy the matte version, the 010 is probably the one that I would go for. I will be getting it in that shade. I mean, it's just lovely. It's super, super expensive, but I mean, oh, it's just divine. Absolutely divine. So this goes on and it does look very natural. It dries down to more of a demi-matte finish to airbrush all the pores, but I can definitely say from experience that this does go more glowy than the matte version throughout the day, so it is going to shine up a little bit more. It doesn't feel drying, it feels really hydrating and nourishing without being heavy on the skin. Love that. Look at that. Obviously it doesn't look perfect at the moment because I don't have my under eye concealer on, but we are going to move on to that now. I'm just going to colour correct my under eyes using my Nars Creamy Colour Corrector, and I'll be right back. Okay, so along with the truly luxuriously expensive foundation, Clé de Peau have also been super generous with a concealer. So I'm going to try this out today. This is the Corrector Visage concealer, and I was expecting to receive a liquid concealer to go with a liquid foundation, but this is more of a stick. Let's just jump straight in. Well, that's not too bad. So I'm just going to use my finger just to pad this out and just keep on adding more product as and when I need it, which I quite like. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for concealer. I like this. It's a very nice concealer. the shininess of this concealer is sort of taking away a little bit of the coverage element, which is what I want at this moment in time. But that may completely change once I've added a little bit of powder to set this in place. Now, I didn't add powder to this before, so maybe I'll add powder to one eye and see whether this moves, and we'll keep on having a look throughout this video to see if there's any creasing, because I do tend to move my eyes around quite a lot whilst I'm filming. Just mattifying it a little bit has helped with the coverage. This side looks better than this side in my opinion, but you know, it's only my opinion. What does it count for? Practically nothing. So I've been off camera for about 5 minutes, I've been downstairs, I've come back up, and this side of the concealer has moved slightly. It also looks a little bit more mottled because the light is catching it in different areas and it's shining in some areas and not shining in others. So I'm going to mattify this down like I did the other side, just to give it a little bit more cohesion. And already far better, far better. So I do like this, but for my personal preference, it does need setting in place and just mattifying slightly, just to take the edge off that shine. Okay, so I've just been off camera to do my brows because you've all seen me do those a million times, and I have a video all about how I do those. I'll link it up here for you if you haven't seen that already and you're interested. Let's go back into the Wayne Goss palette, which for some reason I've put away. So let's get it back out. I'm going to dip into this shade here and run that across the lower lash line. And then I'm going to take the more grey shade and just apply that right at the end, just to join everything together and make it look more seamless. So pretty. This palette is just so pretty. Then instead of adding an inner corner highlight that's sparkly, I'm going to go in with this matte shade instead and just add a little bit of brightness just in that inner corner, just to lift things. So I'm going to go in and do the waterline. I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Super Nudes liner duo, go in with the brown side, and I'm just going to tightline that upper waterline, but I'm also going to do the lower waterline as well in the same shade. Then I'm going to take another new product. This is from Huda Beauty and it's their Life Liner Quick and Easy. This is a waterproof liner and it's in a very black shade. So it's super black, which I'm a bit disappointed about now because I wanted to keep everything a little bit more muted and brown, but we're going to go in with it anyway because I really want to use it. And yeah, I just want to. So we're going to see what it's like. Wow, you can do some seriously precise liner work with this. It's a super fine liner. I think that is the easiest liner that I've ever used. It does say quick and easy, but the point on this is so fine. That is amazing. I have got the thinnest line on my top lash line that I think I've ever created with a liquid liner. So I adore that liner, but it has taken away a little bit of the softness from the look that I wanted to create. One, it's super black, so that could be quite harsh, but also it's a really stern line. It's not soft, it's not muted, it's not blended out or buffed in. So yeah, we're gonna roll with it anyway, but I really like that. I will use that all the time now. Great liner. So I'm just gonna curl my lashes and then we're gonna go in with a new product that I picked up the other day. This is the Lash Paradise Mascara, but it's in the shade brown. And I don't think we had this before in the UK. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody will, I'm sure. So this is quite a fluffy applicator. Nothing wrong with it in the slightest. And the shade of this is quite a cool tone brown. So that is really pretty and it's soft. If you don't like that harsh starkness that a super black mascara can give you sometimes, this is definitely that happy medium. It's dark enough so that your lashes will show up, but it's soft enough to just give you that fluttery edge. I really like that. So this mascara isn't fastened in super tightly, it's really easy to remove, but because of that it doesn't remove the excess from the tip of the wand, so you have to remove that before you start applying this to your lashes, otherwise you'll just get into a little bit of a clumpy mess. I actually like the fact that this doesn't scrape every single last bit of the product off, because it means you get a lot of product on the lashes at once. And it's really quick and simple to apply. All my lashes look separated, they look really fluttery, and I've managed to do the lower lashes with this, which is quite a, I wouldn't say it was a chunky wand, but I definitely wouldn't say it was a fine wand either. It's somewhere in between, and I didn't get it everywhere. I'm really pleased, really pleased. So I just applied some of the Revlon Colorstay Satin ink in the shade Partner in Crime. I am living for this shade right now. I think it complements this look to a T. It's a really soft muted pink. I definitely recommend these. I've got these in 3 shades. I used them in a previous video for affordable makeup. If you haven't seen that video already, I will link it up here for you. There are some amazing products at affordable prices in that video, so definitely check it out if you haven't already. One of these shades is for my mum and I've not got around to giving it to her yet, which she's very upset about. I'm really sorry, Mum. The trick to these lipsticks is to apply the bare minimum. If you over apply, it goes a little bit cakey, and when it dries, it goes a little bit crusty and then can start to flake off, and you don't want that. So just apply the bare minimum. They are super pigmented, so you don't need to apply a lot. I've just applied the bare minimum today, and you wouldn't notice. It's super pigmented and will last all day. So now the piece de resistance. This is from Nars. I had a lot of people say they wanted me to try this palette, and I'm so happy you did because I adore it. I wore it out the other day and just felt so special and girly and glowy, but the right amount of glow, no sparkle. So this is the Orgasm on the Beach palette, and it is limited edition. If you want to get your hands on this, you need to go and get it now because it's not going to be around forever. So this was released at the beginning of the summer, and like I said, I've only just got my hands on it. So let's get some of this on the face because it is so pretty. Okay, so firstly, I'm going to apply a highlighter. A lot of people ask me, do you apply highlighter first and then blush, or blush and then highlighter? It's all personal preference. I prefer to apply the highlighter first because then I can blend it into my blush, and sometimes it just takes that extreme edge off it. If you're wanting a highlighter that you can see from the moon, second will probably be better for you. So I'm just going to apply a tiny little bit with my fingertips and then apply this to the tops of my cheekbones. Just swirl it around there. So nice. Really is nice. If I'm being completely honest, this is slightly too deep for my skin tone. You can see there that it's darker than my skin, but I'm not worried about this because I'm going to be applying some blush, which will complement it beautifully, and you won't notice once it's all blended together. So this is the shade of blush that I used the other day. It made me feel super pretty and super girly and confident, which is definitely what I needed. So this palette pulled through for me the other day. I'm going to wear this one today because I think it would complement the look that I've created a little better. But before I do, let's go into this shade now. Don't let this shade scare you. It looks very deep in the pan. This is suitable for anybody with a deeper skin tone, but you can sheer this out if you have a fairer skin tone. Also with this shade as well, this looks super pretty. And added to this one, it just makes you look like you've been out in the sun for a little bit too long. And you've got a hint of pinkness within that tan. So let's see what these shades can do. I don't want to apply too much of this because I don't want to take away from the rest of the makeup. But if I just tap into this a couple of times and then tap it on the back of my hand, I can just apply this just around the perimeter of my forehead, just to give myself a little bit of a summer glow. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this down my neck to make it look more seamless. And just connect everything together. I absolutely adore this. As you can see, it's super glowy, but there's no sparkle in this whatsoever. It's just summery and girly, and yeah. Let's add a little bit of this blush shade. Again, you hardly need any. This is like a blush and a highlight in one, but a very, very subtle highlight. I mean, you know, I don't like a really strong stroby highlight, but this is just so pretty. It really is. So that's the finished look for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I love it. I think it's the right amount of glow without looking over the top. But remember, I haven't powdered any of this in place. So if you want to take the edge off the sheen a little bit, you can always add a touch of translucent powder to the look just to soften it off a little bit. I've loved every single thing in this video, apart from the NYX Ultimate Shadow and Liner Primer, which I think there's something in there that I'm allergic to, but as soon as I took this off, it was okay. I don't know what's in it. Has that happened to anybody else? Let me know. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful in some way, and hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.